Hello, welcome to our practice question. This one is on human development, chapter 15. We've seen a couple of questions already on chapter 14, but of course we're going to see some, not many, but on your unit exam, there will be a few from chapter 15, predominantly from chapter 14, so know that well. But let's take a look at an example type of question that you might be seeing. So this one, we've seen this kind of format before. Use the following information to answer the next question. So it just talks about the next question. And when you see a diagram like this, we said a good strategy would be just to label it right away. Before you actually even get into the question, label it initially. And then maybe even if you have time, put a little bit of just some real quick definitions on that as well. So number one, you can see they're talking about that sac that contains the developing fetus or embryo inside. And of course, that is the amnion sac. And its primary job, remember, is to protect the developing embryo. Okay, number two, you can see this here would be the placenta. Okay, and that placenta we know that's kind of the exchange site for oxygen, nutrients. Sorry guys, getting a little sloppy here. Antibodies, mom's antibodies. We also talked about that unfortunately there's other things that can diffuse across that placenta. And those are things like alcohol or heroin, drugs, any of that kind of stuff there can diffuse and affect the development of that embryo. We've looked at some of the tranogens that can affect the birth weight of a baby. And a lot of things like cigarette smoke and secondhand smoke and stuff like that have the capacity to cross the placenta. Number three, of course, that looks like the umbilical cord. And if you remember from your notes, the big deal on that was transporting embryonic blood and we know that had a couple of veins and arteries in it as well, two arteries and one vein that exchanged oxygen and carbon dioxide with mom and the fetus. And then number four, this obscure structure was the yolk sac. And we remember, if you recall, we said in mammals, it had no nutritional value like it does for a chicken. So no nutritional value. What we did say is this becomes the first blood cells and the future sex cells. So just a couple of notes. Of course, you'd be doing that a lot faster in a test environment and that. But always a good idea to, at least at the very minimum, label the diagram. Let's take a look at the question, numerical response type questions. Well, I know we don't like these type of questions because you have to know multiple pieces, in this case 4 pieces of information, and it's only worth 1 mark. You get one of these orders mixed up and the whole question is wrong, unfortunately. So if we take a look at this, let's take a look at number A. They want you to match for each function, give the number to the corresponding structure. So if we take a look at A, it says provides protection. Well, the one that did that, you can see right here, is the amniotic sac, which is number 1. So we're going to pop that in there. This one says transports embryonic blood. We know the thing that transports oxygen and that type of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the fetus and the mom is the umbilical cord. So that would be number 3. And this one says is used for nourishment in vertebrates other than mammals. So chickens and stuff will use that yolk sac for nourishment, but of course not mammals. So that would be number 4. And this one said the site of exchange between embryonic and maternal blood. I don't really like the word blood because we know the placenta separates the maternal and fetal blood. But probably a better thing that would have been in there is oxygen, that type of stuff. But nonetheless, if you even use process of elimination, the only thing that could be number D, or letter D, would be number 2, the placenta. So these would be the 4-digit answer that you would then put onto your bubble sheet that will be provided for your midterms and your final. Okay, so very typical type of question. Again, the strategy is when you see a diagram labeled with these numbers on it, just label it really quickly. And if you have the time, if you feel like you're okay, especially in the midterm and the final where you have lots of time, put in a couple of definitions and stuff like that, and then it'll make these questions much easier. Okay, any issues, give me an email. We can address them. If not, have a good day and good luck on the exam. Thanks, guys. Bye.